G'day everyone, I've had a couple of requests through for this one. It's Sucker by Jonas Brothers. There are tons of different sounds in this song, so I've done my best to grab the ones that stick out the most and apply them on the acoustic drums. There's also a really fantastic drum part, so we're definitely going to look into that. But for starters, I think it sounds great if we just play eighth notes over on the hi-hats, kind of leaning on the quarter note. It'll line up really nicely with the music. From there, we add a kick drum pattern that we're actually going to use a couple of times in this song, and there's also finger clicks, and I'm going to play them as a cross stick. So this is how that next section will go. The next part in the song is the hand claps, and they stick out pretty clearly, so I'm sure you know exactly where we're up to. I haven't written anything for this part, but if you wanted to, you could click your sticks together, or you could try and get those hand claps in there. The main reason I haven't added them to the drum part is that they continue through this next section when we clearly have a beat. So the next section, we're going to play a beat. We're going to match up all the kick drums with a first tom, because it just gives it that nice sound that's the same as in the song. And other than that, it's a pretty straightforward beat. Here's the next 4 bars of that section. And here's the last 4 bars using this beat with the tom over the kick. For that last bit, I'm basically playing a 5-stroke roll, but instead of going right, right, left, right, I'm going right, right, left, kick. It's totally up to you. If you can't get the doubles up to that speed, you could definitely buzz it and just get that kind of dropping off kind of sound so that it sounds similar to the song. Let me go back and I'll play that whole section up to speed. The next little bit we need to look at is just in that whistle section. It only goes for 2 bars, and we're only going to play for 1 of those. After that break, we are into the next verse, and the drums get a little bit busier, but we're just going to repeat these same 2 bars for the whole of this verse. For some reason, I really like that ghost note in the second bar, so definitely try and grab that one and chuck it in if you can. Moving on, I'm just going to play quarter notes on the hi-hats, but I think we've got the claps as well, so if you want to, you can add those in. There's just a couple of kick drums going on, so I'll show you what I worked out. Now we hit the chorus again, and each time the chorus kind of builds up from nothing, and then eventually we hit into a beat. To start off, we're just going to play eighth notes down on the floor toms, quarter notes on the kicks, but there's a couple of extra kick drums here and there, so I'll play these first 4 bars slowly. In the next 4 bars, we are still building up, but I can hear a hi-hat pattern come in over the top, so I'm going to grab that with my left hand. I'd say we're still in the chorus when we hit this next section, but it's kind of like the second part of the chorus. Everything lifts up a notch. We're going to try and sizzle the hi-hats just a tiny bit on every backbeat with the snare drum. So see if you can just loosen up your foot a little bit every time you hit that snare drum. That'll get a great sound that sounds just like the recording. But other than that, there's a couple of tricky little ghost notes, but I'll take it slow, so hopefully you can work it out. I'll play the next 4 bars and then I'll put that whole chorus section together. All right, here we go, those 8 bars up to speed. So that's the chorus done and dusted, and we're doing great so far. Now we're up to my favorite section in this entire song. We have basically a drum break for the whole of the bridge. It's 8 bars long, and we're going to mix up the backbeat on the snare drum just a little bit, so I think I'll break it down 2 bars at a time so that you can grab it, and then we'll put the whole thing back together. Here's the next 2 bars, and in the first bar, we're going to move the backbeat from beat 4 onto the end of 4 to make it sound really tricky. Next up, bars 5 and 6 of this section. And the last 2 bars of our drum break go like this. I'll put that section all together so you know what it sounds like. Like I said, I absolutely love that section of the song, so it's definitely worth practicing so you can jam it. Moving on, we're just going to scale back to just the kicks, but then eventually in this section we're going to add the cowbell. If you don't have a cowbell, just play it up on the bell of your ride cymbal, and that will still sound pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
The next 7 bars are just kick drums 4 on the floor, just like this. 7 bars of those kick drums, and in the 8th bar we have a fill that's going to lead us into the chorus beat again. It's the same beat as I showed you before, so I'll just flash through it to refresh your memory. And for the final 4 bars of the song, we're back over on the cowbell. Remember, you can play that on the bell of your ride if you want to. And we've got a little bit of a beat underneath, so I'll play it slow. It might be a little bit of a coordination challenge, but if you work on it slowly, you'll get it too. And there we go, that is how you play Sucker by Jonas Brothers. It's lots of fun to play along, and that drum break in the middle is especially worth working on. I hope you've had fun with that, happy practicing, and I'll see you at the next lesson.